What is up, dudes? Lady dudes. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. My name's John. I'm here to talk about some time thieves. If you didn't know, very recently, like literally, what, 2 days ago? Yesterday morning, we found out a ton of information about Savage Strike, the set that is coming out in the next, 10 days now. That will be dropping, and coming into this, we knew we had a bunch of cards that we weren't sure what those slots were going to for that set, and yeah, so yesterday we got a ton of information about Savage Strike, including a bunch of imports, a bunch of cards we didn't know we were getting, and some of this included Time Thieves, a completely new TCG exclusive archetype based around XZ summoning, which seems weird considering Savage Strike is a synchro based set, but they're here. I mean, can't change anything now. It's all speculation, but hindsight's 20/20 and all that. But we have a pretty interesting archetype here. I think it's pretty good, actually, surprisingly. They're all commons. All 6 cards are commons. So you'd think, okay, if they're making a common, archetype, it's probably going to suck some duty. No, it's actually pretty interestingly good, especially if they get another wave of 6 cards. This set, depending if they do the cards right, could definitely be an interesting deck in the future. But let's jump into these cards and let's see what they do to start us off. So our main monster here, our main deck monster is Time Thief Winder. He's a level 4 psychic monster with 1800 attack, 1300 defense. His effect reads: you can detach 1 material from an Xyz monster you control to special summon this card from your hand. So great. Nice level 4 beater that can get itself on board just by attaching a material from an Xyz monster. That would have been crazy if this could detach a material from any monster on the field. Maybe it's a little too busted, but still really solid. Also, a second effect reads: if this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can add any Time Thief card from your deck to your hand, except for himself. What the fuck? That's crazy. This is crazy to me. Both effects are hard once returns. I mean, it's 2019. We should know this. But that's just insane to me. He special summons himself from hand, and he's just your searcher on normal or special summon any Time Thief card. There's pretty good cards you can add too. So really good. He's your Rhoda of the deck, but he's hard once returns. That's what, or not Rhoda. He's your Stratos, Hanzo, whatever you want to call him. But he's a really good card, and he's 1800, so don't sleep on that. There. Our second monster here is Time Thief Regulator. This is another level 4 monster. It's a machine with 600 attack and 200 defense, so very low stats, but you don't really care about that because you're just trying to resolve its effect. Its effect reads, by the way: if you control no other monsters, so just this card on the field, you contribute this card, then special summon 2 Time Thief monsters with different names from your deck in defense position, except for itself. When an Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So should an Xyz monster have been destroyed by battle and you had no other monster on the field, this is actually a pretty good effect because you get this card back, and as long as you're able to protect this and make sure your opponent can't get rid of this, on your next turn you're just going to attribute it again to special summon 2 more Time Thieves right out of the deck. Keep in mind the card we just looked at was your Stratos, and he just generically searches on normal or special summon. So you literally special summon him straight from the deck and he gets you a search right out the gate. Because this does not negate effects on the field. So a lot of people are going to want to compare this card to like Rescue Rabbit or Rescue Cat, but I think this card is better just because of what you summon off of these. Like Rescue Rabbit can only summon normal monsters, so no extra extendability there, but it is a 1-card rank 4. This also is a 1-card rank 4, but it summons your level 4 that searches you, so it's a +1, then another +1. And also, the other monster has a way to special summon itself as well. So it has the opportunity to be literally a +3 as a starter card, which is really, really strong. And also it has this ability to get itself back, which is pretty nice as well. I'm really feeling this card. This card's really nice. Obviously, it is still Ash bait, but it's so powerful that maybe just the ceiling itself makes you play this card regardless. Then our third main deck monster is Time Thief Bezel Ship. This is another machine type monster with 1000 attack, 2000 defense, so big booty. I like to see that. I like to see at least 1 solid stat on monsters, just in those simplified game states where you are kind of playing that, that way you can at least wall somebody off for a turn or beat them down with like your 1800 beater. So I really do like seeing cards like that. It's just a little something extra for the deck. Its first effect is a quick effect, and it says you contribute this card, then target one Time Thief XZ monster you control, and attach one card from your opponent's graveyard to that material, to that monster as a material. I'm sorry. That's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It is sort of disruption, especially since it's a quick effect. You can literally just go like, pew pew, snatch a card from your opponent's graveyard, which can be good. I mean, we've seen DD Crow get played, and you know when DD Crow getting played, you'd think normally DD Crow's not too impactful of a card, but this is a walking DD Crow, where you decide it can be a monster on the field or your DD Crow. You don't even banish it. You actually not just take it, but take it as material. If it's a trap card, that's really good. If it's you know, and it can be anything. So I think this card has a little bit of utility, but also keep in mind that the material, you're not banishing it for good. So it's not as permanent as DD Crow. So once like your Xyz monster leaves the field, they're going to get their material back in the grave. So it depends. It depends on the situation, obviously, but not a terrible effect, but nothing crazy. The better effect for this card, I think, is if this card is in the graveyard, you can attach a material from any Xyz monster you control to special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. That's a hard once per turn. Actually, both are hard once per turns, but that's really nice. So like, whereas your other level 4 monster special summons himself from hand, this one can get you back from the grave. So that's why this can be up to a +4. Like, you activate this, you summon 2 monsters out, so that's +1. You make an Xyz, or I'm sorry, on summon you search, so that's +2. You make your Xyz, and then if you attach a material to activate an effect, you can then activate this card in the graveyard to attach another material to get it back, getting you your +3 more or less. But yeah, all these cards seem pretty good so far. I'm really curious to see what kind of other cards we would see from this archetype. Honestly, I think we're on the right path. If we see another 2 to 3 monsters in the next set, and another spell or trap, and another extra deck monster, that may be exactly what we need. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Our next card here is a spell card called Time Thief Hack. It's a continuous spell, actually. And it's okay. It's very generic, but it's an alright card. It says, during the turn they are special summoned, Xyz monster you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and your opponent cannot target them with card effects. So, nice little protection the turn you're summoned, which is okay. I mean, you're still Ashable, you're still Ogre, no, not Ogre, you're still, what's a Ghost Spell, but the other ones don't, most of the other hand traps don't hit you, though. It's alright, it's alright. You can target one face-up Xyz monster you control. It gains 300 attack for each material currently attached to it until the end of this turn. And if it does, and also has a material that is owned by your opponent, it can attack directly this turn. So this is mostly cheese. I mean, I think like, well, I think the 300 stat boost, you know, multiplier is decent. I mean, your main Xyz monster is already 2,400, so this can get him pretty big, pretty quick. I mean, you're assuming you're getting 1,500 most, no, not 15, I'm sorry, like 900 most of the time, so you're going over 3,000, and very often you're going to be able to attack your opponent directly, so it is kind of cheesy, but, you know, not terrible. It's just generic also is another thing to consider, but it's just okay. I think it's okay card. And then we have our one trap card. This card's actually pretty nice. It says target one Time Thief Xyz monster you control. Attach one Time Thief card from your hand or deck to it as material. There you go. Also, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Time Thief Xyz monster you control, and attach one card from your opponent's graveyard to it as material. This is another just graveyard disruption. Just like your Bezel Ship, this card can just steal any card from your opponent's graveyard and attach it to your monster. We'll see the monster in a second, and that'll make a little more sense depending on what you would want to steal. But yeah, I like graveyard disruption. It's nice. It's not bad. Just because every deck uses the graveyard as like some sort of, you know, resource nowadays. And our last card here is Time Thief Redoer, which is our Xyz monster. He's a generic rank 4, takes any 2 level 4s. Once per turn during the standby phase. Oh, also, 2,400 attack, 2,000 defense. Very beefy for a generic rank 4. That's almost as high as you're ever going to get for a generic rank 4. I mean, 2,500 we've seen from like Utopia, but other than that, nothing really bigger than that for a rank 4. Anyway, once per turn during the standby phase, you can attach the top card of your opponent's deck to this card as material. Nice. You're just continuously getting an influx of materials. I like that a lot. Quick effect. You can detach up to 3 different types of materials from this card, then apply the following effects depending on what was detached. So, if you detach a monster with its effects, you can banish this card until the end of till the end phase. Keep in mind, you will lose all the rest of your materials that you did have on this card when you do this, but sometimes you got to do it. If your opponent has just removal, you just got to jump out of there, because you're just going to at least get a 2400 beat stick back on your next turn, and you're also going to steal a material from your opponent on the standby phase. So that's a really good effect. Not amazing, but it does just make this card very annoying for certain decks. We also have a spell card. When a spell card is attached and using this effect, you just draw 1 card. Sweet, just quick little plus. And then if a trap card is detached, you place 1 face-up card your opponent controls on top of the deck. That's pretty good. That's literally, so it's a place and it doesn't target. This is non-targeting, non-destruction removal. If you can get a trap card equipped to this card as material. And yeah, this card's just pretty solid overall. So let's look at it as a whole. You're a 2400 beat stick. If your opponent ever tries to do anything to fudge with this card, you banish it by detaching a monster, and you also can get other advantage. You can, if you do have all 3, you can really get so much value out of this. You dodge, so you come back on with another 2400 beat stick, while also having your opponent kind of waste some sort of something, whether it's an attack, whether it's, well, I mean the attack can redeclare, but whether it's an attack, whether it's some kind of spell card to out you, and then you just dodge. You also draw cards. There's just a straight up just +1. And then also you just have a removal of any face-up card that, unless it is completely unaffected by card effects, cannot avoid this kind of removal. So overall, I just think this card is really solid. I would like to see if they do get another Xyz monster, I want to see something a little more proactive. This card is just super reactive because it's a quick effect to dodge. You're almost always just moving this card from the field to use its effect. So I would like to see something a little more offensive, because this card's super defensive the way it plays, super dodgy, like a wind-up rabbit, but still a good card nonetheless. Even other decks can play this card as well. So, and just the way it plays out, you steal a card from the top of your opponent's deck on the standby phase, and he comes back on the end phase. So he literally comes back just in time to take another material, so he'll automatically have another material on him. So that's really solid. One thing to worry about this card, though, is if it is a longer duel and you keep taking cards off the top of your opponent's deck, depending on the deck you're playing, if they use a ton of cards that work in the graveyard, you're going to keep taking materials, and if your opponent is continuously able to force you to banish yourself, you're just going to keep giving them those cards in the graveyard, and it's just going to be endless. You're just speeding up their ability to get cards in the graveyard a little bit. So I would be wary of that, but I still think overall this is a really good card. This archetype's really interesting. I think it has the most synergy probably with a deck like Phantom Knights with Rusty Bardiche and some of the Dark Warrior stuff. They have a lot of level 4s there. And using, Rusty Bardiche, because they all are dark monsters, so that's pretty cool. I really can't wait. Right now, there's not enough cards to really do just a pure Time Thief deck, but it is a cool engine to run in a rank 4 Xyz deck, and some other decks as well. So really can't wait for whatever comes out in Dark Neostorm. Hopefully they get a whole nother volley of 6 cards in Dark Neostorm. My hope is that we get 2 to 3 more monsters, 1 or 2 more spell and traps, right, for some nice, stuff there. I want a better spell than this card. This card's really mediocre. And then hopefully 1 to 2 more extract monsters. If they got what if they got a spicy Link monster, Time Thief Link monster, and then another more offensive rank 4, I would be really into that. That could almost solidify this deck as a legitimate rogue or even better deck, because this deck does some pretty cool things. Throw in some stun cards, some floodgates. This deck can definitely give a lot of decks, even right now, a good amount of trouble. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how cool. I didn't even talk about how cool the designs are. This guy looks dope. Your little guy, he's really cute. This ship looks cool. Whatever. The artwork's pretty cool for all of them. And I love this guy's my favorite artwork though. Your Redoer, and that's cool because he's your main monster. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm wrong and this sucks. I don't think it sucks. I'm pretty positive it doesn't suck. But obviously, it will be kind of it'll be solid standing, because we got to assume we're going to get another solid volley like this to help solidify this archetype entirely. But Until then, we're stuck with this, but I'm not mad. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about these cards when they dropped. If you're going to be picking them up, I'm definitely picking them up. They're all commons. They're going to be cheap as dirt. So I cannot wait for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe for more stuff from me in the future. And I'm going to get the hell out of here. Peace.